Hello everybody. We're at Mom's grave site. Doris Fredette. Born February 2nd, 1926. Passed away January 30th, 2005. Wife of Corporal Robert J. Fredette, United States Army Air Corps Force. I just want to commemorate Mom's rebirth someday. Yeah, we're going to. Need a little sip for my, I'm going to recite some poetry.
Trying to kill it.
I'm going to recite 33 poems today. I'm here with Richard and my dad, Robert. The first poem I'm going to recite is titled Winter, and it goes, cold is the opposite of heat. Winter blasts of blizzard warnings, and long dark mornings cast a spell of dry wit and empty fists as they drown the horrors my future presents. Cast in faith, gray between night and day, I fetch another log with my hard-earned pay. Gather up twigs of my discontent, strike up some new ideas, the last match spent on time I borrowed from New Year's. Now I'm out. While sources attracted to sink, I still need a blanket. Poem number 2 is called Shipwreck. It goes, the crew awoke on a massive slab of driftwood. It began to pour. We failed to see dawn. Yet there are no gray moments to reflect on. The flash of a favorable past persists when we buy stock in character at every unfortunate miss. Brighter days may prevail again, and frequent praise for the individuals, those strong beings who got us there, should be paramount to oneself. Poem number 3 is titled, He Walked the Mile and Swam Back. This is about my dad, Robert J. Fredette, and it goes, he walked the mile and swam back. What began as nonchalant resulted in a rigorous act. For he was 80. I walked with him, not ruling out the notion that he may be fading. But when we reached the beach's end, we turned around and walked into the ocean. It was at this point, he said with his backstroke, catch me if you can. So I used the backstroke, the side stroke, and freestyle. I made it all of 200 feet, but that of the greatest generation swam a full mile. Poem number 4. I didn't write this poem. It's titled, How Long Have You Been a Sailor? So ask me, how long have I been a sailor?
How long have you been a sailor?
Sir, oh my bloomin' life, sir. Me father was King Neptune. Me mother was a mermaid. I was born on the crest of a wave. It rocked in the cradle of the deep. My eyes are stars, my teeth are spars, my hair is hempen seaweed, and my spits, I spit tar, I tough, I is, I am, my are, sir. Poem number 5 is the last poem to my book, Latent Heat. It's called A Year's Up, and it goes, week after week, writer's block after writer's block. The reservoir of thought can now collect in the coffers of my cranium as I rest with contentment. Poem number 6 is titled, Are Americans Racist? And it goes, peel the onion further, and we have a universal bias. As I struggle with bona fide mania and dim melancholy, I still have inalienable rights, like low-income housing and disability bennies. But yours truly can be committed at the toss of a lighter. $1,200 later, eggshells support my tiptoe around constant scrutiny and a table book of jobs. So bias doesn't stop at race. It's in gender, health, sexual preference, as well as creed. We all have our mountains to scale. Ignorance gravitates some masses back to race camp, while others overcome with the oxygen of our Creator. Just breathe. Poem number 7 is titled Girlfriend. And it goes, your smile senses once imprisoned soul, channeling through uncharted territory. Your kindness keeps my once throbbing lonely heart off the rocks of complete destitution. Your life fills my once skeletal life with some Your love fills my once skeletal life with some meat to chew on. Your ass cures this once seaman's curiosity with a great bucking. Poem number 8 is titled NYC, or New York City. And it goes, slow activity as my mind grinds to a halt. I can't jump the turnstile to her heart. She requires a day's wages for access to her garden. A show of hands for those who'd rather see her mass appeal with distinction from the rest, as she turns tricks for global markets. Nature hates a void, hence a big Granny Smith is a whore, but I love her. Poem number 9 is titled Reconnect. And it goes, if I had the time to bring it all together, if I had a chance to make it all better, I'd put my tools away, find a nice place to stay, carry on with unfettered glory, like an old salt with a bottomless collection of sea stories. Not once upon a time fairy tales, but a you're not going to believe this crazy shit account as to when order began to fail. That's poem number 9. Poem number 10 is titled Antithesis. And it goes, my heart is torn between the left and the right. We all want gun control, but there is no life-saving rights for the fetus. Meanwhile, the fascists tick for Medicare for wealthy tax breaks. Love heals the heart. Poem number 11 is titled, it doesn't have a title. It's in my book, Walk in Faith and Eat When You're Hungry, the Jesuit on Steroids. And it goes, take some seeds. There may be a breeze, but sure, a few take root. The bloom is a truth. Believe now it's worth the plow. Poem number 12 is called Immigration. And it goes, tell me, why are we so concerned? There are over 1 billion Chinese driving a country that is smaller than the United States of America, which feeds about 300 million Yanks. Need some room? Annex every country north of Colombia and south of the U.S.-Mexican border. Then enforce our American law. And we go to poem number 13. This is Nectar of the God. Poem number 13 is titled Cruise. And it goes, the rapid percussion of needle guns, shrieks of scraping rolled steels, chipping hammers pecking an impatient rhythm as the bulkhead loses appeal. Mugs, are you thirsty? Hollers. Yes, chief, they scream. Then swallow your spit, and 10 laps around the Azores they had to steam. No Portuguese beauties for the night. Land will only be on the starboard line of sight, much further than one can reach. There's still toes fastened to the likes of Steel Beach. Time will give a night to carouse. It'll be 15 days later in Palma de Mallorca, a sailor's gift from our Creator. Plenty of sunshine with Mediterranean style. The Spanish can party for a long while, but until then, underclass learn techniques like how to stand while you sleep, comment on the midnight watch as they're perched on a metal plate, eyeing the furnace fires, waiting from that of the 4 to 8. By the time it is all over, 2 months have passed. The cadets will went to 3 countries, and for a lifetime, the knowledge and experience will last. Poem number 14 is titled Heart's Cove. Heart's Cove is a small body of water in the Mauritius Bay near the Mauritius Inlet. It's a bit muddy. And it goes, oh, body with the surface so calm, I float motionless as a tide of thoughts leave my haven of fond and distant memories. Your depth all of 5 feet, that ooze through the toes, encouraging positive buoyancy during the swim to your mouse island. A truly barren place. Cancel that for now. I prefer to lie still and defer such a pulsating thrill, only to remain dormant with the help of my corpulence. So let the current run its course. For if I routinely engage in a rigorous swim, I will fail to float, as fat as burn, and I become slim. So let the tide ebb and flow. Poem number 15 is titled Silence. And it goes, a final tune from FN. Shriek, final tune from FN. Yet another siren blares. Ah, as it fades, eyes closed, but still drawing a blank. Thank God for the break. An opportunity warrants new sounds. The voice of a colleague, internal combustion, the stamp of a time card. It all has relevance. Nevertheless, nothing makes a statement like silence. Poem number 16 is called Basic Steam Cycle. Almost halfway through. And he goes, the feed pump speed balance can be a bit of a challenge. So a subtle differential is corrected with a set of flight weights selected as a substantial head must overcome the molecular unrest within a 600 psi boiler drum, the chamber where steam is born again after completing a series of bends, and a glowing orange furnace being complete with several extra passes for superheat. By the time it leaves the boiler, it's considered dry by the average oiler. As the vapor's temperature is greater than saturated, a condition favorable for the turbines to be operated. The turbines take the work out of the steam to the point where liquid is seen. Due to the loss of latent BTUs in the condenser where there's a vacuum, the term used is condensate, water in its liquid state. After it's been reheated and deaerated, the feed pump's head is once again created. Poem number 17 is titled Longevity. And it goes, yesterday I became slightly more than half my father's age at 45. When I turned a year old, I was 2.2% his middle age. If we both live to 200, past 200, there'll be a 20% difference. Thus, the more expansive our lifespan, the younger we have become in the past. Poem number 18 is called Cold Surf. And it goes, at 60 degrees Fahrenheit, the ocean cures those thoughts. The endless superfluous rumination making the need to switch to the next quite apparent. First, I'm ankle deep. The feet sting with a frigid blood vessel reality, denying a retreat. Standing over a froth of broken swells. Then I'm up to my waist, chilling the sensitive members to a shade of purple, denying a retreat. Finally, it's the chest and head that call for a complete dunk, an inevitable submersion into a hypothermic impression. I ride a few wave crests and appreciate the fortunate result of crossing the miles deep oceans for 4 years. I never had to go down with the ship. Poem number 19 is titled Share. And it goes, a blue frisbee on the lawn unearths thoughts of some days in greener pastures. Half-baked wit permeates through the modern still air. With social media and pinch of time. Why did I leave behind? I could have kept giving it a never-ending toss to my family and friends, then the neighbors adjacent and across. Who knows, maybe all of YouTube could have caught my drift of a disc with such a hue. Poem number 20. 2/3 of the way through, almost. Hold on. Poem number 20 is titled Mickey Mouse. This is about my brother Tom. He's a bit of a socialite. And it goes, Steamboat Willie couldn't have amused so many farm animals with another toot, hoisted heiferel and sputter macaw. Believe in him, I say. Charisma shines on his sweaty brow of harmonized rafter cuts and subtle shoulder struts as his pointer's edge squares yet up another playing field. Where have I been all the while? As if I'd been his Pete to his own demise. Don't just grimace, Tom needs my smile. Poem number 21 is titled Dan Griffin. This is a true story on the Crosstown Ferry going from Orient Point to New London, Connecticut. It goes, my first day in July '99 on the job commenced 8 hours prior to the new engineering officer's presence. A clandestine smile of amusement appeared on the smug face of another chief, whom I truly respected but painfully admired. Why is my life now less of a requiem of faults done past? Why aren't we both of similar past, like our ages and studies? It seems he could never make error. After a month, our polarities began to manifest in my mind, to the point where I then sought to find the route towards my ride. 4 years ensued after the drive on a rather humorous farm, and there he was on the evening news late. A sailor's boat sank off a block island, leaving him all alone treading water for 48 hours straight. Poem number 22 is called Altruism, and it goes, I have a pound of pleasure in my right pocket. Better to give than concede in the human race. The deed may not make the top charts, but it most certainly will kindle the spirits. Poem number 23 is titled Turning 50, and it goes, through all the years of staying put, I must release the demons of hand and foot. Cradled with my big chest up proud, I favor the dates where we're both laughing out loud. Ha 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 ha. Thus they are far and few between. A rarity, I must confess, where's the scene? Lost to age and a lame routine. I will never lose the eye for beauty in every woman, though. Poem number 24. Poem number 24 is titled Dear Professor Hawking. And it goes, is the universe as a whole infinitely increasing in entropy? Hence the BTUs reach into the heavens where it may be more cold. Or is there a more apparent sign the great expanse of space is reversal and adiabatic? Thus our existence is more defined. Can the totality of everything exist? Have an average temperature measurement? One might need something more than a bimetallic strip. If it has been determined that there's heat transfer from a universe, where does all that lesser form of energy go? We may eternally be nature's thermal source. Does it recycle back to what is nebular? If those nests could only tell us that. Or is the process broader and truly irreversible? A system of constant beginning and never-ending disorder. That poem is a tribute to Stephen Hawking, dear Professor Hawking. May he rest in peace. Poem number 25 is untitled again. That's from Walk of Faith and Eat When You're Hungry, the Jesuit on steroids. It is in reference to Rachel Carson's book, Silent Spring. And it goes, still life's and strewn kites may dazzle our present. Hay bales and stables may dazzle whinnies. May quiet whinnies, but I won't have a queer conscience when the birds stop singing. Poem number 26 is titled The General. This is a tribute to George Washington and all those who served in the Revolutionary War. And it goes, fruity flares sampled with each share gambled on our vast landscape, which slowly took shape. In hot scant battles, valley forward saddles compete with frostbite, solemn budget trite. Short sentimental, weak continentals continue to bleed as he sows the seeds of time cast in stone by French Baron's tone, propagating tact, bricks now stack in George's honor. A district ponders his deep legacy. My country, 'tis of thee. Poem number 27 is titled The Harvest. And it goes, sleeping years lie behind a row of famished stalks, waiting for their turn. We can turn them into a meal, one mutters with bated breath. Do we have enough for dinner? Patrick is a Vietnam veteran. Moon is 5 months pregnant, and Greg is just hungry. Poem number 28 is titled Are You Jesus? This is a poem, and it's a tribute to Jim Morrison and the Doors. May Jim Morrison rest in peace, and Ray Manzarek. And it goes, break on through to where? I don't know the other side. I wash my hands when two worlds collide. With savage whiskey bars on the right, and love me 2 times to the left. No need to light a fire. Candle's wick remains in a stick with enchanted scent. We may get higher after Lent. Spanish caravans are brought tonight with enlightening brushes between forethought and retrieval. Blanket senses that may ruin our sight. Crystal ships pitch, heave, haul, and sway. 1,000 thrills can't keep it still from the reality that blows across our brow. Unstable lists from flooded voids are kept at bay with one wise choice. Spirits, illumination, transcendence, and choices are brought to light. In the doors art pieces. So I asked Jim Morrison, are you Jesus? Poem number 29 is called Blarney Stone, in reference to St. Patrick's Day, which is last March. Today is May 8th, 2022. And it goes, sharp tongues and clever passes alter the minds with the gist for fortune and romance. But blatant blitz of shrieking fits will surely achieve passive solitude. Poem number 30 is titled Easter. Easter. This is, of course, we all know what Easter is, right? And it goes, hold on. Easter. I have 3 more after this. Easter goes, I'm silent as I look past the deer. Spring winds howl with winter's disdain from heat. A Christian shines the chow hall windows clear. Behind the door, our Lord is raised from dead. Divine visions cast a sense of relief. So for now I can dream about pleasant times without the limits when we lack belief. Belief in something that's beyond these lines. Aliens, Buddha, Reverend Moon, J. Christ. We struggle to learn most all that they have taught. All of which may be candidates for life. Maybe it's just another train of thought. But I cannot consume the venison. It is 6 inches tall and made of plastic, right next to the canvas that Christ is on. Transparency, just fine and fantastic. Poem number 31 is titled Happy and Gay. And it goes, who is cheerful and who is not? One evening, a sparrow landed on Lee's head for about 15 seconds. Lee is my quadriplegic nephew. He's a real live Olympian, securing the silver medal in wheelchair rugby at the 2016 Summer Games. Of course, he was happy in both instances. Then again, a shot of B12 and a cup of coffee do the same for me. I will go even further. I can go even further and choose not to take my meds for a few weeks. The energy is boundless in such mania. Nevertheless, to the men, I'm sorry for the disappointment. I am happy and gay with the opposite sex, tremendously and exclusively. Poem number 32 is titled Memorial Day. Memorial Day, that's coming up at the end of this month. Last Monday in May, it is observed. Memorial Day. Yes. Hello, soldier, sailor, flight of fancy. Hello, soldier, sailor, flight of fancy. Yes, soldier, sailor, flight of fancy. Plundering flanks, flotillas, and pearls east of fabled tears, demanding grit and true faith. Battle groups that roll in earthly defiance and ramshackled patience gather no moss. Gather no moss. Gather no moss. Then again, but um, but we'll try our tears with blood, blade, and torture. A lame twist of power, fame, and fortune. I guess it comes down to who started it. That's poem number 32. And lastly, poem number 33. Poem number 33 is titled Mother on Mother's Day, May 8th, 2022. And it goes, when desperate measures are on demand, she would always understand and respond with an enlightening thesis. Give it to Jesus. 2 years have ensued. We still go to Mass. To elude mortal sin and happiness and hope to see her again. She was warm and casual, like three cats in parallel, on a winter's trip above Norway's northern tip. Her message is fine and dandy. It comes in handy. But it can be quite calming for me to quietly sound off, Mommy. That's 33. And that's Mother's Day. Here is